Alright class, got a special lesson for you today. We are going to be looking at DC Universe Classics, Wave 17, Figure number 3, Blue Lantern The Flash. Not just Blue Lantern Flash, but Blue Lantern The Flash. The is important. There we've got a symbol for the Blue Lanterns, which I think is what, hope? I'm sure the other side of the packaging will tell us. There's Flash in blue and there's Flash in red. I wonder if they just made him Blue Lantern just so they could put him in some other costume. You know, when I get to thinking about it, I did enjoy Blackest Night and that whole thing with the replacement Lantern Corps or whatever the hell you want to call them. But I can't help but wonder if it was really just the, you know what, let's take Flash and dress him up as something else. And then they did it with a few others. It does include a collect and connect piece, which is a left arm. And on the back there, we can see the Flash pointing his power ring, because that's what he would do, I guess. In his biography, when Necron unleashed his Black Lanterns upon humanity and its superheroes, the various Power Ring Corps joined forces, sending out rings to new human champions. The Blue Lantern Corps, wielders of the blue light of hope, chose Barry Allen, a man who never gives up. As Blue Lantern the Flash, now Blue Lantern the Flash, how about just the Blue Lantern Flash, or Blue Lantern Flash? It's starting to sound weird. He joined the battle against the Black Lanterns with an unshakable belief that all will be well. Well, he joined the fight before the ring got him. And I think they were trying to set him up as the one who was being hopeful. Anyways. His first appearance in black as a Blue Lantern was in Blackest Night number 6. His real name is Barry Allen. He is a forensic scientist out of Central City. And his special abilities, he's capable of unmatched super speed, and the Blue Lantern Power Ring supercharges all nearby Green Lanterns. That sucks as a power, by the way. Congratulations, your support. You can help the other dudes, kind of useless yourself. So it's a good thing that he runs fast, because he'd get his ass kicked otherwise. Yeah, no. Some other figures. There's Wonder Woman, Scarecrow. We've got Flash here. There's going to be Indigo Atom, Orange Lantern Lex Luthor, which I'm looking forward to, and Black or White Lantern Hal Jordan. And again, they all have pieces to build. The Anti-Monitor, who really looks like he's, I don't know, about to take a really wicked dump. At any rate, that's a look at Flash. In his packaging, there we can see his little lantern battery. What we'll do is we'll get this out of the package and we will have a closer look. Alright, and here we've got Blue Lantern The Flash instead of just Blue Lantern Flash. I think they really just wanted an excuse to take Flash and turn him a different color. But there he is. We can see for his coloring, you know what, he's blue because he's a Blue Lantern, and it's mixed with black because I think trying to put it blue and red would look silly and they didn't want to do that. And on his fist we can see we've got the Blue Lantern ring. And I think they even, well, I think they made a feeble attempt at trying to make the emblem on the ring, but let's face it, that's really, really small, and that'd be really, really tough to do. The other thing I would like to point out is that for the lightning bits that are on the Flash, instead of yellow, they made them light blue. I'm not sure what the point of that was. I guess they wanted to put them on there, but if they were blue, you wouldn't notice them. If they were black, you also wouldn't notice them. His face looks alright, but I have to say there are a number of little paint imperfections on there around the mask. Actually, particularly around the mask, there's some skin color along the edges of the eyes. We've got some black up here on his forehead, which I don't quite understand. And there are a few other bits, like on his shoulders, where the paint wasn't done exceptionally well on this figure. Just too bad. Especially around the face when it's really noticeable. It's not too good, but I mean, it's what I would expect from Flash to look like if he was a Blue Lantern, or when he was a Blue Lantern. And surprisingly enough, I think it has a decent amount of character when you consider the fact that all they've really done is just change the head a little bit and added the little, I don't know what these are, feathers, whatever he's got on the side of his head. And he's got them on the sides of his boots too, which I've also never been able to figure out. Wings, I guess. But altogether, not too bad. Now, if we were going to talk about articulation for this figure, you know what? No new ground broken here. He is a standard DCUC figure. So his head is going to go around. It's going to go up and down. We're going to rotate his arm around. It's going to go up, down. We'll rotate the arm at the bicep. He's got the one joint there for the elbow, and we can rotate his hand at the wrist. We've got the extra joint here in the torso so we can look up and down. His waist will go all the way around. his hips will go to the side. Oh, we can go forwards a little bit, back. We can bend at the knee. We can rotate there at the thigh. Oh, and of course his ankle will go back and forth. And actually I have to say, I like the tread on his boots. And look at that, they even stamp on it. One is the right leg, one is the left leg. Because if you held them up otherwise, you wouldn't be able to figure that out. How sad is that? Anyways, I guess that's part of the construction process to make it easier for whoever the hell was putting this thing together. They have a whole bunch of L's, a whole bunch of R's, and try to put them together. At any rate. Now, Flash here does have a couple of accessories that he came with. And the first one being a Blue Lantern battery, which I still think the Blue Lanterns kind of got hosed on the powers department. I mean, I think they can project energy shields, and I think they have a limited amount of firepower. But really, their power is just to augment, boost the power of the greens. That sucks hard. Who the hell would want to have to do that? Anyways, we can have him carry his Blue Lantern, and the Blue Lantern does look nice. I have to say, I like the Blue Lantern maybe even more than I like the figure. And that's kind of sad as well. Well, for me anyway. But there we have that. It fits in his hand pretty well, so we can have him holding it, which is excellent, along with his power ring. The other thing that this figure does come with, which if we can stand him up here for a second, we will do so, is we have an arm. The left arm of the Anti-Monitor. I want to see if there's something that says L on here. I don't see anything. But we can see the cybernetics. It's going to be huge. Oh! Well, that wasn't good. Okay, note to self, we can't really bend Anti-Monitor's arms too much, or we're going to pop out one of the hoses on his arm. At any rate, I'll probably forget that by the time we put this together. Just to give you a comparison, we can see that Anti-Monitor is going to be pretty large, which I guess we would expect from a Build-A-Figure, so there's nothing too spectacular about that. We'll look at that more later. In terms of the Flash, I guess I don't really have too much else to say. I liked Flash as a Blue Lantern. During the course of the comic, as I recall, a lot of the Blackest Night actually did kind of focus on the Flash and how he was back from the dead and him trying to cope with it and cope with the changes that had happened since he had been gone. And I thought that was pretty interesting. The figure itself, I guess this is one of those ones where you just like the idea of taking a character with an established look and then altering it in some way. I mean, they do it all the time. What would happen if, you know, we did something with Batman or with Spider-Man, or let's change their costume, or, you know, and I think that was, to me, part of the premise for having the replacement lanterns in Blackest Night. But Flash, you know, I thought looked all right. And then, as I said before, he does have a surprising amount of character for a figure that really is just, for the most part, with the exception of a couple of wings on his boots, that little ring on his hand and the doodads on his head here, it's pretty much just a standard DCUC figure, which I know we can say for a lot of them. Now, if I were to grade this figure, you know, because I do like the way he looks, and I know I was just saying he's like a standard DCUC figure, but I would give him a grade of B-. He's a little better than average. I do like the fact that there is some fading on the blue and black here, and on the shoulders. It looks like where there's joints or movement, the color is faded, and I do like that, or it's mixed a little bit. We've got the Flash lightning bolt right over the Blue Lantern, which is nice. I think this accessory is not bad. Actually, I do kind of like that, and the fact that you can just hold it. It's decent. You know what? I do kind of like this figure. It's got a surprising amount of character for the fact that it's really just a standard mold with a couple of bits added on. Maybe it's just the fact that it's the only Flash figure I have at this point. And I don't know, they took Flash and they just changed his colors, which I did enjoy. So, I think that is going to be our lesson on Flash, and though I'm not going to be able to stand him up. Stand, you bastard. There we go. So, as I said, sorry, that is our lesson on Flash. Thank you very much. Class is dismissed.